Hello, you guys. I'm coming at you in like Instagram stories version of myself because you guys are so used to seeing me in my turkey trot sweatshirts, just hair up, chatting with you guys. And here's the idea, the inspiration behind this video. I obviously get so many questions from you guys, and a good majority of those questions I feel like aren't long enough, or like the answer isn't detailed enough for me to turn it into a full-length YouTube video. And the best way to have a resource for you guys to continue to go back to is by actually creating a video instead of just doing my weekly Q&As on my Instagram stories. So if you guys did not know, if you do not follow me on Instagram, got fancy coming in hot. I do an Instagram Q&A every single Wednesday, so if you guys have a question that you want to ask me, definitely make sure that you guys follow me on Instagram, and then every Wednesday on my stories I do answer your questions. But today I'm gonna answer some common ones, and we're really gonna talk about the logistics of creating YouTube videos, and we are going to start with the bare basics of what do you do to prepare for a video, planning or writing. So a long time ago, I know I was in my old house, I created a video talking about how I outline my YouTube videos, and even in that video, I feel like I didn't do a great job of explaining it to you guys. So I actually have an example of the last YouTube video you guys would have seen on my channel, what I did to outline it. So my outlines have kind of evolved over time, and it really depends on the video and what I need during that video, that filming session, because there are certain videos that I film where I need more of an outline. I need my exact bullet points, things that I'm gonna hit. I need to know where this transition is going into the next scene, you know, like I really need it outlined compared to other ones like this. There's really no outline to this YouTube video. But the last one that I filmed, it was actually only just on one page, and then a tiny little bit went onto the second page, but it starts out just by some things that I want to include in the intro. So I kind of go off of bullet points, but then there are some segments where it's like, this specifically I want to include. So in my notes, I put, at this point, you have to know the importance of a thumbnail. And if we reference that video, at this point, you guys know the importance of thumbnails. And then I break it down into like, okay, so let's get into it. And then I talk about my click-through rate increase. So I specifically put in here that I wanted to look back at old thumbnails and I wanted to show the difference in my click-through rate over the last year. And then I really break it down into the main points of the video and what I want to talk about. But this is where it gets really rough, and it's like, here's a bullet point, just go off, girl, go off. Because if I give myself too much of a structure for a YouTube video, I will way overthink it. I will refilm over and over and over again because I didn't say something exactly right or like word for what I've written down, and that's just like not a really authentic way of filming, at least for me. So you kind of got to do what's good for you. For my intros, I definitely write out a little bit more, and then it just kind of turns into bullet points. But I do just have one notebook that I start every year, which, funny enough, guys, like this is how I've been filming my YouTube videos recently. I only have 4 pages filled out in this notebook for my outlines because my YouTube videos I haven't been using outlines for recently. For my vlogs, do you plan the story of your vlogs first or put the story together after filming? It depends. I've done it both ways. So I have had vlogs before where I filmed the whole entire day and then I didn't like the structure of it, so I ended up moving something from later in the day in the middle of the day, and it didn't actually flow in terms of the way my day really went, but in terms of the video, it added a better storyline to it. So for most of my vlogs, I go into it knowing the general topic of the video, whether that is, okay, I'm just gonna do a work day in my life, and maybe on this day I know I'm going to be filming, so the thumbnail and the title is going to be behind the scenes of filming a YouTube video or something, and I'll just include a behind the scenes clip of what I'm doing right now. But then there's other vlogs where I will specifically have, okay, I'm doing a bathroom remodel, so it's going to include the before and after, and it's just going to be talking about that bathroom. I'm not going to include other things in there. So that's kind of the way I do it. I come up with the idea first, but especially during Vlogmas, when it was like I was running out of ideas near the end, I was like, okay, I just need to film today and I'm gonna figure out what the title and thumbnail is going to be later. Then kind of you just have to put together the storyline in the editing process. But I more so like to know the storyline as I'm going into it. And even today I am vlogging, I've got my camera right here. I know the exact last thing that I filmed so that I can transition it into the next thing. And if you ever need a refresher, guys, just like go back and watch the last video that you filmed, see where you left it off or what you can cut off at the end that then can transition into the next thing. You don't always need to keep everything that you filmed for your vlogs. Trust me, I usually have like an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of footage, and then my vlogs are like 20 minutes long. How long does your battery last and how many SD cards do you have? So my batteries, I have a specific, I'll link to them in the description right down below, but I think it's Power Extra is the additional replacement batteries that I like to get for my Canon camera. So I have one version for my M5, I've got a different version for my M50, and then I also just got an M200, and those two cameras are the exact same, but those batteries last a while. I'll notice that I can film for probably 4 hours straight without having to replace the battery. Now, that's not common that I film for 4 hours straight, but I do like to immediately charge it once a battery is dead. And once it goes down to 2 bars, I know it's going to die really soon. So I will just take it out of my camera, put a new one in. And every night before a filming day, I do charge my battery so that if you're in the zone and you're filming and then your camera dies, that is the absolute worst situation to be in. But in terms of my memory cards, we're gonna talk about this in a second. I do have like 6 memory cards. I've got a lot. The majority of them are 128 gigs, and then I've got one that's 240 some gigs, I think. It's a lot of storage, and that one specifically I use for vlogging because then I do not ever have to worry about running out of storage on my memory cards there. You definitely do not need that many. I will explain my strategy here in a second because I do get a lot of questions about storage and stuff, so we're going to talk about that. I just want to answer a couple more questions when it comes to filming. So, do you record your audio separately when you're doing a voiceover in your video? Now, I don't do voiceovers a lot, but my advice to you guys is if you are doing voiceovers, you want your audio to match and be seamless. So what I do when I am recording a voiceover, I will actually record a clip on my camera with this microphone. Now, I could plug this microphone like into my computer and record it that way, but I want the quality to be the exact same so you guys really don't even notice that it's a voiceover, because that is a pet peeve of mine when I'm watching other people's YouTube videos and I feel like the audio is like really great, amazing quality, and then it just really drops for a voiceover. When you're filming a time lapse, is it better to film in time lapse mode or speed it up in editing? So the way that I do it is I will film normally on my camera. I do not use time lapse mode because you may have a moment in the time lapse. Like you're gonna go into it thinking, yes, this is going to be a time lapse, but then what if something funny happens? And what if you wanna stop the time lapse and focus on that one funny moment and then continue the time lapse? Or maybe you just wanna say, scrap the time lapse, I just wanna include this little chunk here, this little chunk here, this little chunk here. You have more flexibility when you're not filming in time lapse mode. At least that's my strategy. So I always just speed it up during the editing process, and I usually do 8 times the speed. Okay, the editing process. We've got a couple of questions about the editing process. This is when we're gonna talk about storage, keeping your files, all of that. So 1, do you edit off of an external hard drive? The answer is yes. I have talked about this before, and I'm actually going to link to this video right here. Even if you do not use Final Cut Pro, near the end of this video, I talk about how I created a library on my external hard drive so that I could edit on my external hard drive. This is something that I did when it came to my MacBook, and this is actually another question that I got. Can a MacBook handle Final Cut Pro, or do you need a desktop? You do not need a desktop for Final Cut Pro. I use this 100% of the time, but I do edit on my external hard drive because it can really slow down your computer. And that's actually what happened with I've got an iMac desktop here, which is the most expensive paperweight that I own. I just need to go through and delete stuff. I need to move things onto my external hard drive because it is so incredibly slow. It's absolutely unbearable to work with because when I was using that computer, I was using iMovie and I was not editing on an external hard drive. I was just editing on that computer, and there's way too many files and the storage is just all messed up. It's like almost maxed out. So it really is incredibly slow to use, but This computer I have had for well over a year at this point, and I immediately went to editing on an external hard drive, and it's amazing. This computer is incredibly fast because I do not keep a lot on it. Next question, how did the video with 3 cameras work? Show some behind the scenes. So if you guys did not see the behind the scenes on my video that I filmed with my management team, as well as the video that I filmed with Cathrin, I will link to them in the description bar down below, but I shared the behind the scenes on my vlog channel. So definitely check out my vlog channel if you guys are not over there yet. When it came to the editing process, what I did is I stacked all of the files on top of each other. So when I put them into Final Cut Pro, I stacked all 3 of them on top, I lined up the audio, and then I decided what clips I wanted where. I don't currently have the right external hard drive plugged in to share. You know what, let me do that. Let me be a good YouTuber here. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about right here. Do you see how all 3 of these files are stacked? So I ended up having a boom mic that was attached to this camera. So the audio was plugged into this camera, and that's why the shot of us at the bottom, you can see this audio bar right here. This is the only camera that I kept the audio from. The other ones were, yes, recording audio so that I could line them all up and make sure that they made sense over top of each other, but I kept that one on the bottom. This right here is all of the footage that is of me, and then the one above it is all of the footage that is of Cathrin. And I just cropped things out as I wanted them for the scenes to flip back and forth, but this is the easiest way to keep just the main storyline, the A-roll, all along the bottom, and then add the other footage on top and just crop out where I wanted to. For the next question, we are also going to need my computer. So it asks, how do you add music, download it to your hard drive, add it in video? So this segment of the video is sponsored by Epidemic Sound. You guys know that is the copyright-free music platform that I like to use for all of my YouTube videos. So if you ever hear a song or even a sound effect, that is probably coming from Epidemic Sound. I want to talk a little bit about them and show you guys exactly how I do download music like this person asked, as well as add it to a YouTube video. The one question specifically in there is, do you download it to your external hard drive? So yes, actually I should have mentioned this before. I have my one hard drive plugged in here. I have a hard drive for my main channel as well as my vlog channel, and I get a new one for every year. So these are the Lacey hard drives. I will link to them in the description bar down below, but let me actually show you what I've got going on my hard drive here. On my hard drive, I have a file called YouTube Assets, and within this, I actually have another file that's called Epidemic Sound, and here is where I have a decent amount of songs as well as sound effects that I have downloaded from Epidemic Sound. Here's my sound effects folder right here. This is where I download some music that I like to use over and over again, but I do go to Epidemic Sound and I download new music just about every single week. So let me show you guys how I do that. So we are on Epidemic Sound right here, and this is the home page. Okay, so let's actually explore maybe a different album today and see what fresh and new we got going on. Female R&B, heck yes, love female empowerment. So let's see if we can find a song that we like. It's got a cool intro.
I never knew love would come and find me one day.
Heck yeah, it's a cool song. So what I'm going to do, since I like this song, is just right over here, I'm going to click download. Now you can download all stems or you can download the full mix. And what I do the majority of the time is I will download the full mix because I do not need each individual stem. And what that means, let me actually back it up here. Right here, stems, if you click on that, you can say, okay, I love this song, but maybe I don't want the melody. Like I need a little bit of background music. I love the background music, but I don't want the vocals interrupting like what you're saying within the YouTube video. You can just click on the instrument stem and then listen to it. That's pretty cool. So if you wanted access to all of those different stems, the bass, the drums, the melody, all of that, and maybe you want to like mix and match and like do your own thing during the editing process, you can do that. But for the most part, I will just be on full mix. I'll click download and I'm going to download the full mix. From there, that is immediately going to go into my downloads folder. So it's right here. And what I can do is I can obviously move it to my external hard drive if I think that that is a song that I'm going to use in the future, but I do just download a lot of songs once and then I will only use them once. Maybe I'll end up revisiting them in the future, but oftentimes it just like fits the vibe for one video, and I kind of like going back to Epidemic Sound and finding something new when I need something new. Okay, so let's take this video right here, and all on this one level is where all of my videos are going to go. So the main A roll, like I told you guys, it's gonna go all on this one thing, and then what's gonna go below it is your music, okay? So I'm then gonna go to my downloads because I didn't move it to my external hard drive. I could have, but it's right here. This is the new song that we got, and I'm just going to drag and drop it below the video that I have going right here. Now, can you tell, like without even listening to this, can you tell how high the audio is based off of this line right here and this line right here where this audio is at compared to this audio? What I like to do, these are just like general levels that I like to play by. So I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna click on this just because it makes it a little bit easier to change this. If it is a spot where I want it to take over the full video and I want it to be loud and I want it to be in charge, or not like too loud, but I want it to be the same level as like me talking, I will go to about 16. -16 is what I look for. When I just want background music that you barely hear within my videos, I will go between -40 and -50. And that's what I do to add music within my YouTube videos. So thank you so much to Epidemic Sound for sponsoring this segment of the video. Yet again, I do absolutely love them. So if you want to give them a shot, you guys can get access to a 1-month free trial with the link included in the description bar down below. Next up, we gotta talk about storage, because I swear almost every single week when I do my Q&A on my Instagram stories, I get asked about storage. How long do I keep my RAW files for? Do I keep my RAW files? And then how long do I keep my YouTube videos once I upload them to YouTube, like the original file that I upload to YouTube? And I already mentioned to you guys that I have like 6 different memory cards, and the reason for that is because I do not like to delete any footage from my memory cards until the video is fully edited and live on my YouTube channel. So let me show you guys what I've got going on in terms of my organization, and I'll explain to you something that happened and the reason why I do it the way that I do it. So this is my external hard drive for my main channel, and you can see I've got my unedited files here, I've got my W9s, I have got my main channel, my videos, and then my YouTube assets, which we've already clicked on this, and this is where I've got a couple of things. So like you guys know my recording screen that I include sometimes, the tape that I include sometimes, my marble background that I include all the time. All of those things I keep right here, as well as like my music from Epidemic Sound. I keep that right here. But if we back up, the first thing, unedited files. For each YouTube video that I film, I create a new folder that holds its unedited files. So here are all of the clips that I filmed on my camera, and then I also have my screen recordings right here. And I do that for every single one of my videos. And then I also have IGTV, merch, some unused footage that I don't know if I will ever use. I have had a problem in the past where it was my mistake. I'm not exactly sure what I did, but I accidentally deleted a whole folder from my unedited files, which meant that my footage was gone, and the work that I had done within Final Cut Pro, it was all just like that error triangle, and I freaked out. But thankfully, I did not delete the footage from my memory card. So all I had to do was put my memory card back into my computer, transfer over those files, relink them within Final Cut, and everything was good to go. I didn't waste over a day's worth of work, you know, because of a simple error. So that's why I have so many memory cards. I'm just very careful, very cautious, because even if you transfer something over and then it just goes missing or you accidentally delete it, you just want to make sure that you're not losing out on your work. But then once all of the footage is off of the memory card, the video is live on my YouTube channel, it is done, it is good to go. I will format my memory cards and remove that footage from there, because obviously I don't need to keep it forever. But from here, I will then edit my YouTube videos, obviously within Final Cut Pro, and then I've got Videos 2021, and this is where all of my videos live for my main channel. Again, I have got a separate Lacy hard drive for my vlog channel, and all of my videos are on here. Now, these are just for 2021, okay? So I keep all of my videos, all of the YouTube videos that I have ever uploaded on my YouTube channel, I have the original file for, because We do not own YouTube. What if they decide one day that they are going to delete all of our footage? I would love to have my work. I keep all of my files forever, even my raw files. I used to not keep forever, but now I keep forever because there are times when I want to reference an old video and I've got background music in that one clip of the video that I want to use, and I don't want background music in the new video that I'm incorporating it into, you know? So I will keep all of my raw files, and it is a heck of a lot of storage. I do not remember how large these are. They're a couple terabytes, I'm pretty sure, but I do get the expensive, large, lacy hard drives because I, for one, use them every single day, and I'm not worried about them breaking or losing my footage or anything like that, but also I've got a ton of footage, so I just need something that is pretty large. I think that's it for this video. I have talked for a very, very long time. I hope that you are still with me at this point, but hoping that you guys like this video breaking down some of the logistics questions that you guys had. If you guys want to see another video like this, let me know what topic or questions you guys have, as well as make sure that you follow me on Instagram because I do a Q&A every single Wednesday. But that is it. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys back here on Tuesday with another one. Bye, guys.